After Adam's sin, God sends him away into the earth from where he took him, but does not wish to ruin him for all of his years to come. Man, isn't that something that's lacking in Christian theology? Love of the brother. It's not just bump Adam and he doesn't have a promise. He paid his wage, that is sin, death. The wages of sin is death. But look at what the Father says here. After Adam's sin, God sends him away into the earth from which he took him, but does not wish to ruin him for all his years to come. I said to him, earth you are, and into the earth whence I took you, you shall go, and I will not ruin you, but send you whence I took you. Then I can again receive you at my second presence. That's at the great white throne, the restoration of all things, and that's why talking about Acts and the Jerusalem Council and reducing it to simply eating or not eating is such a slap in the face of the restorative work of the Messiah, and such a grotesque misunderstanding of the good work that he did in restoration, that the Father even cares about Adam, and he paid a wage, and we would relegate him to oblivion because of our own selfishness and ignorance. He says, I did not wish to make a ruin of you permanently, but again I will receive you at my second presence. And I blessed all my creatures, visible and invisible. If you remember, that's the original form or likeness that the Father made man. The first form or likeness, when it says in God created man in the image or likeness or form of himself, was that of invisible, first and visible, and then later male and female. I blessed all my creatures, visible and invisible, and Adam was 5.5 hours in paradise. And I blessed the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, on which he rested from all his works. Next, God shows Enoch the age of this world, its existence of 7,000 years, and then the 8,000th is the end. Neither years nor months, nor weeks, nor days will be enumerated. It's the beginning of what's called the eighth day in eternity. And I appointed the eighth day also, that the eighth day should be the first created after my work and after he ceased. And that the first 7 revolve in the form of 7,000, and that at the beginning of the 8,000 there should be a time of not counting, endless, with neither years, nor months, nor weeks, nor days, nor hours. One of the reasons that we are commanded to number and count our days and ponder these things is because in doing so we ponder our own temporal nature here in this world, and ponder our sinful nature, and the principle of instruction and the principle of the instruction in us to number our days and consider them is like a ruminant chewing its cud, and chewing on matters of existentialism, so that we ponder again not only our sinful nature but his restorative work, and which we see likened in the harvests and the various festivities throughout the year. And now, Enoch, all I have told you, all that you have understood, all that you have seen of heavenly things, all that you have seen on earth, and all that you have written in the books by my great wisdom, all these things I have devised and created from the uppermost foundation, which he called Adol, which is the light of creation above, to the lower, which he called Archus, the spirit of creation below, darkness, and to the end, and there is no counselor nor inheritor of my creations, present tense. I am self-eternal, not made with hands and without change. My thought is my counselor. My wisdom and my word are made, and my eyes observe all things, how they stand here and even tremble with terror. If I turn away my face, in the canonical sources it says everything will be returned to dust. Here it says all things will be destroyed. And apply your mind, Enoch, and know him who is speaking to you, and take thence the books which you yourself have written. I give you Sariel and Raguel, probably Uriel and Raphael, probably a translational complication written in a different language. who led you up, again, a principle of two witnesses, two angels that took him to each of the layers of heaven so that things might be established by two or three witnesses and more even. And the books, and go down to earth and tell your sons all that I've told you, and all that you've seen from the lower heaven all the way up to my throne, including all the troops. We found out earlier they were stationed in the second heaven and the fifth heavens. For I created all forces, Adonai Sebaot, the Lord of hosts. For I created all forces, and there is none that resists me or that does not subject himself to me. For all subject themselves to my monarchy, some unwillingly, and labor for my sole rule. Give them the books of the handwriting, and they will read them and know me for the creator of all things, and will understand how there is no other God but me. Hashtag Most High. And let them distribute the books of your handwriting, children to children, generation to generation, nation to nation. And I will give you, Enoch, my intercessor and archistrategy, or chief angel Michael, for the handwritings of your fathers, Adam, Seth, Enosh, Canaan, Mahalalel, and Jared, your father.